Good morning, give me 1 second. Just got to get this going on my phone. Come on. This is fun. This is slightly awkward. I apologize. Let's get this going. All right, there we go. Because I typically do this on video here and then on my phone for Instagram Live. So that's what is going on there. Okay. So welcome guys, Yuri here from Healthpreneur, Coach's Corner. Got you for the next 9 minutes and 28 seconds. What I want to share with you today are the 5 critical numbers to track in your coaching business. So what I'm going to share with you here are 5 numbers that if you're coaching clients, like you're getting on the phone with them, you enroll them, you work with them at a high level. We're not like selling ebooks and products here. We're like coaching services, okay? So 5 critical numbers to track and measure in your business. The reason this is important is that what gets measured gets managed properly. If you don't know what you're looking at, I mean, imagine flying a plane with no dashboard. And it's very, very challenging. I've actually done that because when I got my pilot's license years ago, I had to do some training at night. And one of the sessions or one of the training exercises was darkness. Okay, so we're in the plane, darkness. And then the instructor puts this cardboard cover on the dash. So I can't see anything. And you try flying a plane when it's pitch black, and you can't see the dials, you have no clue what is up or down. Like it's trippy. So we don't want to run a business like that. We need to run a business where we've got clear visibility of our dashboard. So here we go. So number 1. So the first I'm gonna use these in kind of reverse order. Okay. So first and foremost, the number 1 metric you want to be tracking is number of calls booked. Okay. Now, if you're running a perfect client pipeline, yes, like webinar registration leads you'll look at, but these are the 5 big ones. Okay. So number 1 is calls booked. In a coaching business, when you are getting people enrolling with you on the phone, the number 1, the biggest driver of your business, if you did anything to move one thing, it's going to be moving the number of calls booked higher. So everything you do in your business needs to be geared around getting more calls booked, obviously with qualified people. That is the single most important metric from a marketing and sales perspective it's what's called a leading indicator, okay? So a leading indicator is number of calls booked. If you have 5 calls booked this month, you can predict more or less what your revenue is going to be toward the end of the month. If you have 500 calls booked, you can make a prediction of what the revenue is going to be at the end of the month, and it's going to be a lot higher, okay? So number of calls booked is the first metric you want to look at. Number 2 is the actual number of clients you enroll. So if let's say you had 50 calls booked in a month, how many of those clients did you enroll? 5, 10, 15. That's the second important metric. Again, it's a leading indicator of revenue and profit, but it's very important, but you're going to move the needle a lot more by focusing on calls booked because calls booked will lead to more clients enrolled. If you're decent on the phone, I would budget or forecast about 25% of calls booked into clients enrolled. So that's the second one. Next is when we get into the actual numbers. So we look at revenue. So revenue is number 3. So this is important because we're in business to make money, right? And obviously keep it, which we'll talk about next. But revenue is important because you have to look at your revenue. But the thing is, if you only focus on revenue, revenue is a trailing indicator, which means that it's an after effect of calls booked and clients enrolled. So by obsessing about revenue, it puts you in a position that is completely powerless because you have no control over revenue directly. All you have control over is what can drive revenue, which in this case is going to be the number of calls booked. So we need to focus on the leading indicator so that if that number goes higher, the trailing indicator will naturally take care of itself. Okay? So revenue is the third number to look at. Number 4 is profit. Profit is extremely important in your business because if you're making money and not taking any out, or you're not paying yourself, or you have no profit in the business, what's the point, right? What is the point? The purpose of business is to create a profit for the business owner in its purest sense, right? No one in their right mind would start a business if there was no prospect of making money from it. Like actually like you taking money from your business and injecting it into your lifestyle, right? If you can't do that, what's the point of having a business, right? So you have to look at profit. What profit percentage? When I say profit, I'm talking about net income. So I'm talking about the bottom line profit from which you will pay a percent in corporate tax. Okay, so I'm not talking about gross margin, I'm talking about bottom line net income, which is really revenue minus all expenses. Okay, net income, and then from that, you're going to take that lump sum and pay a percentage in corporate taxes. Ideally, that profit, you want that to be as high as possible, but you'll also notice one thing is that as your business grows, typically, not always, but typically, your profit margin will go down. And the reason for that is because you'll get to a point where you're willing to trade profit for freedom. So if you do everything, I have a buddy who is 90% profit in a 7-figure coaching business. And I said, dude, what, 90% profit? You need to hire some people because there's no way you can sustain that, right? 90% profit is crazy. I mean, like he's just losing his mind. It's like, I've got so much money in the bank, I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, yeah, like, you need to hire a team if you have a bigger vision of scaling, of doing bigger things. So you're going to take whatever profit you have, and over time, as you hire people, you're going to give away some of that profit in the hiring of other people. But every single time you hire someone, assuming they're good, which they should be, you're buying your time back. And that's a worthwhile trade-off any day of the week. So healthy profit, again, like if you're 10% profit, you're on life support. Like you need to be minimum 15% or higher. And honestly, for most of your businesses, especially if you're like 1-2 people, it should be 30, 40, 50%. As soon as you start getting into building teams and stuff like that, profit margin is going to go down. But listen, I recognized, it took me a long time, I would rather make 20% of a $100 million company than 90% of a $1 million company, right? So profit margin will go down, but the volume of revenue you build over time is going to be greater. So the total, like the actual number of dollars in your bank increases, even though the percentage of net income or the profit is smaller. Make sense? And then the final number, which I think is honestly the reason you're in business, we'll call it the critical number. Okay? The critical number is the single reason you exist as a business. So in our business, the only reason we exist is to help health practitioners and coaches make more money. That's it. Okay? Like freedom, yes. Impact, yes. But when push comes to shove, it's really about how much money am I making? That's all we care about, okay? So if we can help our clients make more money in the way that we do it, naturally they have a lot more freedom. If they're making more money, they're impacting more people, okay? But the only reason that we exist as a company is to help our clients make more money. And ultimately that helps them make their dreams happen, which is our core mission, which is helping health professionals make their dreams happen. So we track a critical number where we look at how many of our clients, like numerically, how many of our clients are hitting specific status levels, right? In terms of like revenue per month, et cetera. And we track that every single week. So if that number goes up, that's the most important thing for us because revenue and profit will follow that number. But if you're in business and you're only looking at revenue and profit, you're missing the reason you exist. The only reason you exist in business is to solve a problem for your clients. And you have to track that number somehow, okay? So maybe it's, the number of clients you have that have, 50% reduction in migraines. Whatever your promise is, your critical number needs to tie into that. And you need to track that because that number should dictate the most important projects you take on as a company, okay? It's not just about like posting on social media and randomly doing stuff. You always have to ask yourself, the single question that we are always asking ourselves as a team is, how do we help our clients win faster? How do we help them win bigger? And that's where everything starts, okay? That's on the delivery side, and that's the critical number. And then sure, we look at the marketing and sales side, which is going to go into calls booked, clients, revenue, profit, okay? Anyways, so those are the 5 critical numbers you need to be looking at and tracking on a weekly basis in your business. Anyways, hopefully that's helpful. I got to jump because I actually have a call right now in about 30 seconds with our clients. So if you need help on this stuff and you want to get more clients and build a very successful online coaching business or a virtual practice, whatever you want to call it, hit me up, 647-424-5280. Let's have a little chat. Let's see if you're a good fit and we can hopefully make some magic together. All right, guys, have an amazing day. Bye.